to be when the people were as complainers. It was evil in the ears of Yah, and Yah heard it, and his displeasure burned, and the fire of Yah burned among them, and consumed those in the outskirts of the camp. And the people cried out to Moshe, and Moshe prayed to Yah, and the fire died down. Then he called the name of the place Taberah, because the fire of Yah had burned among them. And the mixed multitude who were in their midst lusted greatly. So the children of Israel also wept again and said, Who is giving us meat to eat? We remember the fish which we ate without cost in Mizraim, like the cucumbers and the melons and the leeks and the onions and the garlic. But now our being is dried up. There is naught to look at but this manna. Now the manna was like coriander seed, but its appearance like the appearance of bdellium. The people went about and gathered it, ground it into millstones, or beat it in the mortar, and cooked it in a pot, and made cakes of it. And its taste was as the taste of cakes baked with oil. And when the dew fell on the camp at night, the manna fell on it. And Moshe heard the people weeping throughout their clans, each man at the door of his tent. And the displeasure of Yah burned exceedingly, and in the eyes of Moshe it was evil. So Moshe said to Yah, Why have you done evil to your servant? And why have I not found favor in your eyes, to put the burden of all these people on me? Now, at this point, he was beginning, Moses was beginning to kind of feel like he had done something wrong, to be eating the same food over and over again. He kind of felt like he was being punished, but the thing about it was that they were surviving. You see what I'm saying? And which brings me to my point that we may not, sometimes in life, we may have just a little, but that little might be better than if we had a lot, you see, because in order to survive, we don't need much. All we need to do is be humble, and his word to us is just good enough. That's one thing that we as a people, we got to come together and understand, is that everything in this world means absolutely nothing, but the little bit that we do have is a blessing, because that little bit could be a lot to somebody else. So I'm going to continue.
Hey, hon. What scripture are you reading out of again?
I'm reading out of Numbers 10, verse 12.
Okay.
Was it I who conceived, this is Moses talking to the Most High.
Okay.
Was it I who conceived all these people? Was it I who brought them forth, that you should say to me, Carry them in your bosom, as a foster father carries a nursing child, to the land which you swore to their fathers? See, now this is where it gets tricky going into 13, where he's literally questioning the Most High's will, because he's at that point. See, we've all come to that point. It's just whether or not we dare to go there. You see what I'm saying? And Moses, to me, he seems pretty bold, because he actually dared to go there. He actually dared to venture in and question the Most High's will. You see, and that's something that's where that humbleness comes in, to where we have to literally check ourselves. You see what I'm saying? But he was in a position to where he was like, okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. What's in it for me? You see what I'm saying? And that's sometimes that's the question that we all too often get caught up in asking, what's in it for me? When the truth of the matter is, it's not about you. It's not about me. You know, it's about what he wants us to do, and whether or not we're willing to carry that out and we're willing to do what he commands us to do. You know, he don't ask you to do nothing. He commands you to do something. You see what I'm saying? His word, his every word is law.
So kind of like, when we were growing up and our parents would tell us, do this.
Exactly.
It's like we couldn't sit there and
exactly.
Just told our parents no, because we were bound to get our butts kicked, or on timeout, or however punishment you had just for not listening.
Yeah.
So okay.
13. Where am I to get meat to give to all these people? For they wept before me, saying, give us meat to eat. I am unable to bear all these people alone. Excuse me, y'all. Because the burden is too heavy for me. And if you are doing this to me, kill me. Please kill me. Now he's begging to die. If I have found favor in your eyes, and let me not see my evil. Then Yah say to Moshe, gather to me 70 men of the elders of Israel, whom you know to be the elders of the people and officers over them, and bring them to the tent of appointment, and let them stand there with you. And I shall come down and speak with you there, and shall take of the spirit that is on you, and put on them, and they shall bear the burden of the people with you, so that you do not bear it yourself alone. See, through all of this, okay, what I'm getting from this is not once has, he recognized how fair, and I say this, how fair the Most High is actually being with him. See, just like us, we don't ever recognize how fair he's actually being with us. Mm-hmm. Like he literally told this guy, like, look, if you feel like it's too much for you, bring 70 of those guys here, and I'll let them have empathy for you. I'll let them feel your burden too. So that way you ain't complaining to me all the time about, oh, this ain't fair, or that ain't fair. Oh man, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. What's going on? No, you won't have an excuse then. He's making it to the point where there's no excuses. You know what I'm saying? Now you have people that, will obviously feel the way that you feel, because like he said in number 16, he said, gather 70 men. Bring them on in there with you. I'll come through and I'll spread it around with them too, so that way they'll feel the burden too. So there you go. You have a council now. And then the thing about that is, he could have easily said, get out my face, do what I told you to do, stop bitching. But he didn't. He chose to, give him that avenue. Just like he gives us all the time. He gives us an avenue to be able to push through, to persevere, to do the things that we need to do in order for us to keep his name on our lips and to keep pushing for his cause and to keep fighting. So, number 17, and I already read that one, my bad. Okay, 18. And say to the people, set yourselves apart for tomorrow, and you shall eat meat, because you have wept in the hearing of Yah. You have wept in the hearing of Yah, saying, who is giving us meat to eat? For it is well with us in Mizraim, and Yah shall give you meat, and you shall eat. You are going to eat not 1 day, nor 2 days, nor 5 days, nor 10 days, nor 20 days, but for a new moon of days, which is a month, but for a month of days, it's 30 days, until it comes out of your nostrils and becomes an abomination to you, because you have rejected Yah, who is among you, and have wept before him, saying, why did we come up out of Mizraim? And Moses, said, that the people in whose midst I am are 600,000 men on foot, and you have said, I give them meat to eat for a new moon of days. Could flocks and herds be slain for them, to be sufficient for them? Or could all the fish of the sea be gathered together for them, to be sufficient for them? And Yah said to Moshe,